Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Cutfile Confidence. Today we are using this one called, I don't know, I always call it the stacked paper napkins because when I was a little kid, my great aunt would stack up the napkins and we put a glass on it sideways and twist and they would all like fan out kind of like this. So that's what I call it. But I have written down that it's like a square geometric. Because it would have started with a square, but because they're all overlapping, they don't look like squares anymore. But today's technique, we are working on using fabric. So it doesn't have to be any specific kind of fabric. In fact, I'm going to use 3 different kinds of fabric on this. I have this really sheer, I don't even know what this is, but it's kind of like that really inexpensive, like cheap fabric that I don't know that it's waterproof, but I don't know. It's some weird stuff, you guys. It has like a plasticky, not plasticky, but I don't know what it's called. It has a label there on it, but maybe it says on the label. I don't have it in front of me. I'm also using a piece of denim. And then I'm also going to use a piece that is like a, I don't know what it's called either. I want to say something that you would upholstery, like an upholstery type of fabric maybe. So yeah, I'm using 3 different kinds. And it's not really hard to do this, but I do switch rather quickly over to my glue gun because that works a lot better. I am also marking out where my photo is going. I have 2 photos. I'm going to leave them attached together, but I am shading out the areas where my photo goes so that I don't worry about backing those areas and making it even more bulky. These 2 fabrics are not, well, the peach fabric's definitely not bulky. The denim is a little bit on the bulky side, but the upholstery style fabric is even more bulky. So it's not the thinnest layout I've made, but I don't add a lot of texture to it besides that. So no wood pieces or, oh, that's not true. I'm going to put acrylic on it too. So yeah, I'm just, it's going to be bulky. Since this is a geometric, a lot of the shapes, they should be all very like the same. They should be all the same. So I'm just cutting multiple pieces to go ahead and back it. I think the hardest part is getting in the V part of it and getting it close enough in with these scissors. These are just my regular paper cutting scissors. I should have pulled out my fabric cutting scissors, but I didn't think about that. And so it is what it is, but getting into the point is probably the most difficult part. And then I also don't want the blue to overlap underneath the peach because the peach is semi-transparent. And when I put it down on top of white paper, I don't want the blue denim to show through. So I'm just making sure I trim it really well. And another option for this, instead of using a glue gun, because you know, I don't know what's up with this glue gun. It's like a Surebond glue gun, and it is a high temperature glue gun, but it's a cordless, and so it doesn't stay hot for a super long time. Especially even as fast as I'm working here, sometimes like I could pull the piece of fabric right back off. And so I had to work very quickly on this. But another good option would be to use Fabri-Tac. I probably could have used Fabri-Tac if I had Fabri-Tac, but I didn't have any in my stash. I don't have any currently in my stash. So that might be something that if I was going to do this often, I would probably go ahead and invest in a little bit of Fabri-Tac, which gives you a lot longer of an open time for drying, but it also holds well on the fabric. So I'm not being super conscientious either about what side of this, I'm calling it upholstery. I don't know what it is actually. I think it's something you would make like maybe pillows out of, not like decorative pillows, not pillows that you sleep on at night. Anyway, I did that for my second circle. It's not really a circle, but the second layer. And then I'm going to go back to alternating between the denim and the peachy color for my outside layer. And I think that kind of just makes it look really it gives your eye a place to rest by putting that cream color in there. It also plays really well with the colors that are in the photo. I am at our favorite Mexican restaurant in Idaho. It is not the first time I've documented this dish. I have it almost every time I go up there. Actually, I think I've had it every time I go up there. And it's always one of the first thing my brothers ask, when are we going to Chapala's and so you can have your molcajete. And so we like to get it in early because it's such a huge meal. I can eat it like for breakfast the next day for like 2 days. So it's like 3 meals in one. And it's really good. It's kind of like a smoky Mexican kind of a dish. It's got smoky notes in it, and I don't know, it's fantastic. So you might have seen me document this one before, but I am not just documenting that we went there. I am documenting that it has now become a tradition. I did pull out my Faded Jeans Distress Oxide ink, and I am inking up around where the cut file is going to rest. I did mark it out with a pencil so that I make sure that I can go a little bit further, because I want it to have that little bit of blue haze behind it. But I don't want to go super dark and have the blue show through that peach color. So kind of a fine balance there. I'm not really sure quite yet what I'm doing with the rest of the layout, but I know I want to do this. I want to leave the cut file as kind of like the star of the show, other than the photograph. And I will be using a label to go ahead and do my documenting. It's not a ton of writing, but just the fact that it's become a tradition every time we go up there. That's what one of our stops. And my brother goes there. My brother goes there on a regular basis as well, and he's friends with the waitress. And actually, the waitress in the photo there is not the normal server that he has. We went on a different day because we were in town, and it happened to be their regular server's night off. But it's awesome because he can just walk in and say, okay, yeah, I want my usual or whatever. But and she remembers, since we go up there 2 or 3 times a year, she remembers my order always as well. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, I decided that I want to put a border all the way around this. So I did ink up an extra piece of white paper, which happens to be just a cheap white paper. I don't know where it came from. It was just here, and maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where it came from. But since I was inking it up, I don't really mind. The white paper that I'm working on here is the Close to My Heart Daisy White. I still have a little bit of that in my stash. I'm going to be very sad when it's gone, but I'll have to maybe see if Stampin' Up! Carries a replacement for it. But so I inked up the edges by just doing my direct ink pad to the paper technique, and then I am roughing up the edges using my distress tool from MK's shop. And then I cut out a couple of notches to tuck a little bit of this peachy color behind. And I'm liking how that is looking. I'm not playing too much off of those notched out areas with regard to where I'm putting everything else. But I did go through my stash and I found an acrylic piece that says Amazing. And that is from Color Cast Designs. So I'm going to use that. And then I had a chipboard piece from Dusty Attic that came in a kit from MK. She had a What's Cooking kit. It was like a recipe or kitchen-y based kit from Simple Stories. And so that chipboard piece was in the kit. It says soul food. So it's not soul food, it's Mexican food, but it's good for my soul, so I'm calling it soul food. I don't know, I think, it is what it is. So my title is Amazing Soul Food. And then I've pulled out some of the flowers, the laser cut flowers from Spectrum Gardenia, which is now several years old, from the 49 and Market brand. And I pulled out the colors that were the best match to my photos and the peachy color. So it kind of goes a little towards red and a little towards yellow. And I'm liking how that's looking. I'm just trying to figure out how to integrate the little flowers over by the word amazing, because I don't have a lot of the bigger reddish orangey flowers left in the Gardenia collection. So I did pull out some flowers from or some pieces from this Looking Glass collection from 49 and Market. And again, trying to figure out where to put them because they don't really have a lot of foliage. I could pull out the foliage pieces, but there's no place to ground them. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out, instead of having them floating just above or below my title, what to do with that. So I looked through the Looking Glass collection here, and I find a little branch that is a very fine little branch, and I decided to go ahead and use that. It's very, very delicate, super cute, and just beautiful. So it's the perfect landing place for all of these little blossoms. Kind of like a cherry tree, but these are not cherry blossoms. I have no idea what kind of blossoms they are, but they are pretty. So I am using it just in that manner. And I really love the way that it looks. I am having to use some hot glue to make sure that that branch sticks onto the fabric, and then using my liquid glue over on the right hand side to hold everything in place. And I don't believe the whole cut file is even glued down quite yet. So yeah, I'm working kind of from the top down, tucking in a label like I mentioned, so I can do my little bit of journaling there. It's not going to be a ton, but it's going to just document the day and the tradition that we have started. And I am using my glue gun to hold down the word amazing in the acrylic. I did have to do that twice on part of it because I think I waited too long to actually put it down. Like I said, the glue, it's drying super fast or cooling super fast, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. If my glue gun's, I wonder if it has a setting for hot and cool, but it definitely could be a lot hotter. So, and I don't know if that again is because it's a cordless and you have to like really get it into the holder to make sure that it stays on or what. But yeah, it's definitely not my favorite glue gun that I've ever had, but it's working. So with a little bit of extra effort, it is working. So I would really like when that was cordless, that I could not have to like sit back on. It's not that it just sits on the charger. It actually has to physically get like clipped into it. So yeah. Anyway, I am going to add a little bit of blue faded jeans to the top of that piece that says soul food, just to make it all tie in. And then I am actually going to do a little bit of splatter around my clusters. While I do that, don't forget to go and check out MK's channel and see what she is doing today with this cut file. I am really curious to see what she does with it, just because when I created this cut file, she wasn't really sure what to do with it. So I'm curious to see how she decides to use it. You will have also noticed that I put a bit of foam tape underneath the photo area of my layout there, just to give it a little extra support, because I didn't do the fabric underneath the photos, so it needed a little bit of dimensional adhesive to make sure that they don't get like sunk in or divots in them. And then I cut off one of the leaves that was kind of going to be tucked under, and I'm going to use it here up in the top just to give it a little bit more greenery over on the right hand side, and then find a place for these extra little bits to live, because I've got another little couple flowers. And while I do that, the link for MK's channel, which I should have told you while I was talking about it, is down below as usual. There's also a playlist link for Cutfile Confidence. If you're not sure what Cutfile Confidence is, it is a class that MK and I are hosting. There are still just a couple of kits left over in case you are interested in joining us. The first 13 cut files we've been doing here publicly on our Facebook channels. We have this one this week and next Monday to do, and then we will be moving over to private Zoom sessions where we have 12 more cut files to work with, as well as an exclusive paper collection and some frames. And we will be showing a lot more techniques, also some videos on how to use the cut files in your either Silhouette software or Cricut software. So that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. Thank you for spending time with me. And if you haven't haven't hit the thumbs up button, I'd love for you to hit thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time to do those little extra things for me. Thank you for watching, and I will be back again on Wednesday with another video for you. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.